So yeah, let's start. So I will talk about a little bit about mobile DevOps. I know we are in Android track now, but my talk is on all technologies that we do, but there will be some Android stuff also there. So my name is Paweł Bocheński, and I'm senior Android developer. Yeah, so I'm working in Netguru for 2.5 years now, and I lead a mobile DevOps initiative in Netguru. So my presentation will be about DevOps in general and how it differs from a mobile approach. How we tackle the problem in Netguru and what tools we use and what tools we develop in this initiative. So let's start with mobile DevOps. What is it? If you look in Wikipedia for definition, it's a set of practices that combine software development and IT operations. So in my understanding is that you develop something like a site, a server, or whatever, and then you are able to deploy it and deliver it to the clients. It's development from start to finish. You don't leave your project half done. That's like basic definition of DevOps. And you might say, why do you need it in mobile, since we don't deploy to servers, or the clients are users that download application by their own. So I think it's not like that. In mobile, you also need to develop application from start to finish. So from project setup to delivery to Google Play, and later, even later, you need to figure out how your application behaves. So I think that there are 3 stages of the development. First is project setup, and it should be as quick as possible, so you can start working on your features and not creating an environment. Then is development, and here mobile DevOps can help with continuous integration, so you can make sure that your code is okay, and you make sure that every service is connected to each other, and also a lot of stuff happens automatically, so developer can focus on actually developing. And the third stage is project delivery and maintenance, when, as I said, you monitor what users do, and you monitor if your application does not crash and react to that. So I've been in a project or in companies that you might say that this is not needed, because you just set up it once and everything works, and you don't touch it at all during the development. But it's not the case in Netguru. So Adam told about split in our teams, but we have about 53 developers now, which is Android, iOS, and React Native. And we onboarded 8 people this year. So even during the pandemic, we were able to onboard some people. And we started even more than 30%, 30 projects this year. So we do it a lot. Also, we are working with external developers. We also need to onboard them and show them our flow. So with this headcount, we cannot afford everybody to do stuff on their own and figure out stuff on their own. We need standards, and we need, for example, when someone is switching the project, then they need to feel at home already. They don't need to adjust to environment. So our main tasks in Mobile DevOps initiatives is help setup and troubleshoot configurations. So if someone has problem with some service that we use, he can ask us and we'll try to help. And our recent thing here was that in one project we have problems with gathering code coverage data from multiple modules. And because we have this initiative, we were able to help and set up it properly. And second thing we try to do is we try to automate things. So you don't need to spend time on recurring tasks. So what do we use? We use GitHub as a minor repository. And I think this is company-wide. Everybody is GitHub. The only exception there is if we don't host projects at our Netguru domain, but it's hosted at client, then it might differ. But when we do things our way on our own, as our ownership, then we do it on GitHub. Then for continuous integration, we use Bitrise. And App Center is used for delivering builds to QAs and clients. And Google Play, everybody knows that probably here. And very important tool that we use is Danger. And I will talk more about this later, but keep this in mind. And also, we constantly seek for better solutions. For example, we tried GitHub Actions, and we decided to stay with Bitrise for now because we have problems with having secret files delivered to the flow. It's not doable, but it's much easier to do in Bitrise. And also, Bitrise is much more focused on mobile, so all the needed environments to do builds is already there and is always up to date. So this is our choice for now. And also, we tried to switch App Center to Firebase distribution. And sometimes we do this, but App Center is our go-to tool because we have already set up a list of people that have access to stuff. And for example, we have QA group that we can add to project, and every QA has access to the builds. So this is super easy to set up also for us. And you cannot do it in Firebase. Okay, so how this all started? I think it started with Netguru Android template. Actual project, the template started way before I was in Netguru, but it's the main and central point in delivering our configurations and automations. So we have this project that we put every useful script or dependency that we think will be needed. And when you start the project, you just clone it, change your package name, and you're good to go. Very important stuff here is that we don't focus on architectures. This is up to developers, but we only provide the skeleton of the project. So yeah, so we can quickly start it. And this year we introduced Create React Native App and Xcode project generator for other platforms. So this is more of a tool. It works like a wizard. So it asks you questions. For example, do you want me to set up Bitrise? You say yes, and it will be automatically added to your project. And yeah, in template, we just have the configuration already there. So there are slight differences, but yeah, this might be resolved in future. Yeah, so now I will talk about the danger. Danger is most important thing in our development flow. So if you don't know what it is, it's a tool that makes comments on your pull request, and it makes it by gathering data from reports from your code. So for example, you do a test, unit test with coverage, you have a report, and Danger post a comment with this report on your PR. So it happens on all the PRs and all the builds. So developers have better insight what's going on, what is tested, what's not tested, what are the issues. And you can have multiple plugins there. So you can have a lint plugin, code coverage plugin, like file size plugin, and also different other things like Jira links can be automatically added to your PR, and you can automatically notify on Slack or any other thing. And I think that if you get one thing from this presentation, it should be this: get Danger and implement it in your project, because it's super useful. And there's one, before we used SonarQube for that, which is also very good, but it's commercial software, and Danger is free. And also, I think we stopped using SonarQube because it has had some problems with Kotlin. I don't know if they are now resolved, but that was the time when we started to look for alternatives, and we found Danger. And from then, we are happy with it. So as I said, you can do different things with Danger. So we implemented it in all our projects, in all technologies. But after implementing it, after some time, we didn't know which project have it, which didn't, and if new projects also use it. So we developed Mobile Dashboard. Mobile Dashboard is a thing that uses Danger to post statistics to our dashboard. So on every build, we wrote simple Danger plugin that posts code coverage and lint errors and warnings to our backend, and we can show the results. And you can see here on the left side is the list of the projects, and they have assigned a score, so we can see which project is doing good and which project needs some help. And on the right side, you can see statistics for one project, and you can see there is very high 80% code coverage and some linter warnings. So this looks like a healthy project to me. And one thing to mention here, this is not done to police something or I don't know, talk to developers to bring their code coverage up. This is only like smoke detector. So we avoid fires before they started. And we have another project that we do in mobile DevOps. It's project generator. It all started with some estimations by our developers that they estimated project setup for a week. And we thought this is too long. Clients cannot afford it, and we cannot afford to lose clients because of this. So first thing, we looked what happened. Why do people think that that it will take so long? And there are a lot of problems because we have a lot of services that we use. So developer need to set up them, and they need to be interconnected. And also, when newcomers newcomers need to do it, they have problems with it because we only have had like a list of things that you need to do. And this is not enough. Sometimes you need to ask questions. And also, there's one more blocker. So for a lot of things, you needed to ask support to do stuff for you. For example, to create GitHub repository, you needed to ask support to create it for you. And it took time. So we think, what we can do to help this problem? And we figure out that we can do the tool that have all needed accesses on it, like GitHub tokens, Bitrise tokens, and everything. And the user would just click generate a project for me, and it will do it. So we put some effort to do it once, but do it well, and not to split to every project. And it will set up all our tools, including Danger and Dashboard. And it will do it in a way that they are interconnected. So yeah, Bitrise will build the right code and will post builds to the right app center and so on. So this is work in project for now, but I can show you some screenshots. This is how it looks like. So as you can see, you can select to set up external services for it. And we have Android, iOS, and React Native specific configuration. And we are planning to add Flutter also, but just after the MVP launch. So here you can see that you can set a package name for Android project, click create, and when everything works, it creates a project for you and you can start coding right away. And for iOS, you have some more options. So it's a little bit more complicated, but still manageable. And for React Native, we have a lot of options. So the guys there have a little bit more work, but still it's just selecting like one page form and click create, and you're done. So that's it. Okay, I can see a question is what I think about projects that are split to separate repositories or libraries. I think it depends, because it might be a problem. If the library repository you develop is used in some other project, then I think it makes sense. But splitting it only for sake of splitting, I don't think it's a good idea. Because you then need to think about versioning and about releases that you do, and also what do you about your API. So if there are some API changes, then you need to also update your app. And working with different versions of API, then you might have problems. And yeah, second question. So the question is, there are web projects with continuous delivery releasing multiple times a day. How do you think this project fits into mobile world, where releases are traditionally much rarer? What is reasonable release cadence for a mobile team following DevOps practices? I think that in mobile you need to have more features in your app to be able to ship, because users are not keen to update. And when you release, for example, every day, then you will face the problem of users using different versions of your app. So I would say some schedule is good. I think delivering once in a week or once in 2 weeks should fit mobile. What's the demand on the Flutter? I think we have recruitment for Flutter now started. I think we are looking for some Flutter developers. And what do I think about practice of code review after merge to the main branch? Do you think it's feasible with enough test and automation? I don't like it personally. I think it should be tested and reviewed on the feature branch and only then merged. But I think it's my personal opinion here. Okay, what do I think about Flutter versus Kotlin multi-platform? So I didn't do any projects in any of this, but I'm native developer, so I'm leaning forward Kotlin multi-platform. But also I think Flutter has more traction now, so I think it's like 1-to-1. Yep. Okay, so thank you very much. Yeah, I think I can answer the last question. How do you approach split projects? So you need to have strict versioning for this, and I think like one main branch for releases is enough. And if you split into like a couple of versions that you support, this will be problematic. So that's what I would do. Okay, thank you. So I think we start another presentation in 5 minutes. So once again, thank you, and see you later.